On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Ethan flips houses and Tony presses buttons in rhythm. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your question. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Third time's a charm.
Take 3. Bam.
This time with actual recording.
Well, it recorded half of the show last time.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to redo the intro because I wasn't recording it anyway that second time.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, this is the third time. We just realized after like
half an hour,
30 minutes that only half of the show was getting recorded, so we're doing it all over again. We're going to try to do it a little bit condensed this time.
I apologize. I switched to a new headset, and I didn't tell my recording software to update where the sound audio I'm receiving in my ears is coming from.
Ooh. So, yeah, well, now we know.
Yep.
Whatever. We'll just have to stay up a little late. No big deal.
All right.
So, what have you been playing this week, Ethan?
I played House Flipper.
That game sounds incredibly fun. If people had gotten to hear the last 30 minutes, they would know what I'm talking about.
I told Tony earlier that it's probably one of the chillest games I've played this year. You basically go around fixing up houses based on whatever your clients are asking, such as painting, installing radiators, pulling up weeds and mowing their lawn, just little things like that. And I just went all in on this. The entire bundle right now is like $32 or something like that because of the new DLC that just came out with it or for it, and it's the HGTV DLC because the game is very much an HGTV experience.
It's basically like, you know, House Flipper or
Property Brothers.
Property Brothers, or the other one that I'm thinking of that I cannot think of now for whatever reason. Fixer Upper.
There we go.
That style of game. So are you actually getting like things from clients? Because usually when you're flipping houses, you've bought a house, you fix it however you want.
I can go buy houses and do that. I think I haven't done it yet. And right now the house that I have, it started out as a very little hobble.
Mm-hmm.
Like it tells me to go check my email in the house. I can't get in the house unless I get rid of all the garbage blocking entry into the front door.
Great.
And the entire place was just utterly filthy. It was disgusting. And as I leveled up abilities and got more access to stuff in the stores, I've since installed new doors, redid the entire bathroom on there, bought a new bed, painted the walls, installed new lighting, got rid of all the tools that are just scattered around because it's like I don't actually use those tools. I have my own on person all the time. So I've done all that. I've even chased a mole out of my front yard. That was fun.
There was a mole in the front
yard?
yard?
You'll it's part of the gardening DLC, I think.
Oh, okay.
And there was like 8 or 9 molehills out in my front yard on there. And they're like half as tall as I am, and I take the shovel, go bash them down, and suddenly this mole that is like as tall as my character pops out, and I'm hitting him with a shovel, and he's running away.
So this really is Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Right. Also compared it to Animal Crossing, where you don't interact with the animals in person. Instead, you get the request via email to go and do whatever to their house.
This, like we said, I think this game sounds incredibly fun. It's like $15. You can get the DLC for, you said about 32 for the entire thing.
Yeah, so. that includes the Apocalypse Flipper DLC, which is free. Garden Flipper, that one does cost money, and then the HGTV House Flipper DLC.
And it's like actual legit licensed HGTV stuff too, which is
yeah
crazy. It's not just, we're doing a home and garden thing and it's TV related. It is actual HGTV. So,
This game's really similar to probably Thief Simulator in the way that you would have to go and do more detailed things. Like when you would steal a car, you'd have to go and like physically get under the hood of the vehicle and remove pieces and stuff as you're uh, uh, what's it called? Chopping or something to sell the parts.
yeah, you.
Anyway, yeah. If it sounds like I'm rushing through this, it's because it's already getting late and we've already talked about this game once.
And that was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation. Very one sided on the recording, so you're not getting that. Sorry. Tony, tell me about Project Eva again.
Project Diva is fantastic. This is Project Diva Mega Mix on the Switch. It is, if you've played a Project Diva game before, you know exactly what it is. There are prompts on the screen and then icons flying in from all directions, top, bottom, left, right, not just straight up and down or straight left and right. They come in from anywhere at any time. You're just pressing the buttons in time to the music. Uh, this game has 100 songs on it, which I think previously the last game that came out was Future Tone on PS4, which had over 300 songs. So this one doesn't have nearly that many, but it's got 100 songs. The songs that it does have are really good. It's some of the better ones, I think. Um, Most of the ones that I really liked to play on Future Tone have made the jump over to Mega Mix, and I think there are like 10 brand new songs that have never been in the game before. Uh, so there's that. For people who are longtime veterans of the series, if that muscle memory of the PlayStation icons is burned into your brain, and that's the way it makes sense to play the game, they have thankfully thought of that and given you the option to go in and change the icons from Switch icons to PlayStation icons. So instead of having the ABXY, you could have the X circle uh, or cross. It's because it's called the cross button officially. Cross, circle, square, and triangle. Um, and that was the first thing I did because I have played enough of those games that while I can play it using the A, B, X, and Y or the arrow keys on the D pad, my fingers understand without having to think about pressing PlayStation icons. So that's what I did.
Nice.
Um, I really wish I could use the Miku controller that I have, but I don't think it works on the Switch. I think you have to use that only works on the PlayStation, unfortunately. Um, I'd really like to have a controller for the Switch, but I'm not going to buy one of those just for the one game. Uh, there are a couple of new modes. Well, there's one new mode that's available in the United States. I think Japan has a couple of new modes. One is a touchscreen mode that you can play. The other one that
Oh
we
yeah.
do have here is called mix mode, and it uses the Joy Cons separately in like a punch, like a boxing style. So you're holding the controllers in each hand like you would do in like arms.
Okay.
And you're tilting them left and right and then hitting the shoulder buttons. And if you're playing in mix mode, it switches the note tracks from regular Project Diva to more of a Guitar Hero style where it comes from the top down and you just tilt the controllers left and right, line them up, and then hit the shoulder button instead of following the prompts flying in from all different directions. uh, if you play on easy, you just use one of them. If you play on higher difficulties, it'll add a second Joy-Con, and so you'll have a left Joy-Con and a right Joy-Con. And I think on some of the even really higher difficulties, it'll switch those. And so, like, you'll have to move the left Joy-Con all the way to the right side of the screen, or the right Joy-Con to the left side of the screen, and it messes with your brain because it's really difficult to do that. I've found this mix mode is pretty fun in like small chunks. I don't want to play it for extended periods of time like I can with the regular version of the game because I can just get lost in the music and just play that game for hours at a time if I'm not careful. Mixed mode's just not quite as much fun as the regular standard version of the game. Uh, the other thing that's different about this one is they've overhauled the visual style. In the other versions of the game, they use more of a 3D CG look, and the characters have sort of a almost a plasticky look to them. They don't in this one. They've changed that and gone away from that to a more 2D sort of anime or manga style where everything is brighter. There's
Oh,
dark outlines around the characters.
gives it almost a cell shaded look. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot like a cell shaded look, and I've seen some people talking about it online, and the it seems that the visual style is one of the things that is the most divisive for people with this game. Um, some longtime fans really, really don't like it. Uh, I'm not one of those people. I think this looks really good. I really like this visual style for the game. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't really know why they've made the change. I don't know if it was a hardware thing. Like,
I
I
think
wouldn't
one.
think so.
I think it might have been like arcade related or something. I don't know. And they wanted
I don't.
something more traditional or easier to program or easier to run on home consoles.
Yeah. I I have always been under the impression that the stuff running behind the icons is just sort of a video, so it wouldn't matter one way or the other if they're pushing 3D models or 2D models or
That may
whatever.
have changed whenever they
Um,
got the ability to change the clothes on there or something, I guess.
maybe because you can if you can go crazy with the outfits in this one just like you've been able to in the past. There's already DLC for this, both songs and
Oh
uh,
gosh, just all the stuff you can buy on there. Ugh.
there's not as much of it as there has been in the past, but there's already some available. Uh, because not every song, but a lot of songs have unique outfits that they put on the characters um, that sort of fit the theme of the song. So like, there's some that are set in like Japanese castles and they wear traditional Japanese clothing, or there's some songs where Miku's dressed up like a clown for some reason. Um, like with Future Tone, the songs in this are not translated, so there's nothing in English to tell you what they're saying. If you don't know already, you're not going to find out.
Just read the subtitles. You'll be
Uh,
fine.
the subtitles are in Japanese.
I know.
So there have been games in the past that have been the subtitles have been translated into English, but Future Tone and
I,
this one,
I just think it'd be really hard to read that
uh,
while trying to pay attention to what is
oh well,
flying in
yeah,
on the screen.
you definitely can. I have no idea what's going on in the background of these songs while I'm playing them. So uh, the game is really, really fun, though. Uh, I am very much enjoying it. The Project Diva games are ones that I get into a lot, and I play them really heavily for a while after they've come out, and I find myself going back to them over and uh, over the years because it's been 2 or 3 years I think since Future Tone came out at this point, if not longer, maybe. Um, and that's one of those games that every few months I'll pop in and I'll play and you know get into it really heavy for a few weeks, and then I get rid of it, delete it, and come back to it a few months later. Um, but this one you can take with you wherever you want, and that's a really nice feature because it's been a while since you've had a Project Diva game on a portable system. So it's really nice that Sega has taken this game from the PlayStation and moved it over to the Switch. Um, and as of right now, it's a Switch exclusive. I don't know if it'll stay that way or if PlayStation will just get another game in a year or two. Uh, but if you have a Switch and you've been wanting to play some music or rhythm based game, this is the one to get. I think it's $39.39 on the Switch.
Okay.
Pretty sure they did that purposely because Miku's thing. I think Miku sounds like 39 in Japanese. Is that what it is? Uh,
Uh, Maybe
39, 39 is a very big deal in the Miku universe, and I think it's because her name sounds like 39 in Japanese. So, um, if you have a Switch, you should probably get this game because it's really good. There's a demo available on the eShop if you're curious about it. I think it has 2 songs. So, and it gives you access to both modes, so you can try the traditional style, or you can try the new mix mode if you want to see how that works out. So, uh, check it out because it's
Miku turned
really,
into
really fun.
numbers becomes 39, which can also be said as Sankyu 39, which sounds like thank you. So there we go.
There you go. Answer solved. If Shelby was here, he'd have been able to just rattle that off
Oh, he
any
would have
time.
known right away.
Oh yeah. So that's what I have been playing this week. I will probably play a lot more of that along with Sea of Thieves this week. Uh, so yeah, let's take a quick break though, and we will come back and we will talk about the news. This week was a little bit like almost a mini E3. I think Jeff Keighley's Summerfest started this week. There were a couple of announcements from that.
Summer Game Fest, I think is what he called it officially.
I think that may be what it is. It's something that's spread out over like 4 months. It runs through, I think, August.
Mm-hmm.
Um, different things. There were 2 different small presentations this week, and there are some more. I think the next ones are not scheduled till next month. So, but anyway, there have been a couple of things that have come out from that. One is that Tony Hawk. We're gonna jump around in the news a little bit.
Okay.
Tony Hawk 1 and 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remakes were announced by Activision this week. I think those are bundled together into one game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, and I don't think it'll be full price. I'm not sure on that though.
It is available for pre-order on some places. I'll have to see um, if I can find it. Uh,
What I like is before the event started, the live chats I was seeing on this was on Twitter. I couldn't get chat elsewhere other than Twitch, and Twitch video wouldn't play. But everyone's cheering for Skate 4, Skate 4, and then the video starts. And you see the skateboard and like, oh my god, skateboard. And it's like, nope, Tony Hawk. It's like, not even mad, bro. Give us Tony Hawk.
no, because those first few Tony Hawk games were really, really good. Yeah, it's $50 for the deluxe edition and $40 for the regular standard edition.
And apparently they've already confirmed Superman is going to be on track.
Oh yeah. So
Even the developers said we can't have a Tony Hawk game without this song on here. It is the anthem of Tony Hawk.
pretty much, I think the soundtrack was released
I think
later in the week,
it was put on what, Spotify or something for
something
some.
like that. So yeah, this will take all of the stuff from Tony Hawk 1 and 2, and they also during the presentation said there will be some tricks and things from Tony Hawk 3 and I think maybe even 4 that are brought back into this because people have been asking for those specific. We're asking if those specific moves were going to be in or tricks were going to be in the game,
Nice.
and they did say yes. But the bulk of the game will just be Tony Hawk 1 and 2 being remade, and I've seen some side by side comparisons of like the warehouse level from the original game and the remake, and it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's
Or at
really
least,
neat just seeing these old familiar places, and then it's just, oh my gosh, this is that place, but it looks completely new.
mhm. Yeah, we really are sort of in that era of the remake where all those old games that we grew up playing, we want to play those again on modern systems, and we're getting that. Uh, Activision especially seems to like really be interested in bringing back those classic games and giving them to not only those older fans but a new generation of players as well
If only
who maybe
they did better working with Blizzard for Warcraft 3.
Well, yeah, they haven't all been perfect. Um, this game will be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. The one notable exception there is Switch, which I'm not too happy about, but a lot of people also maybe seem to not be uh, incredibly happy about this, but
Maybe
not
enough
all.
cries will be heard and it'll happen.
Well, yeah, it's weird because these games were both on N64, Vicarious Visions games recently with like the Spyro stuff. Those all came to Switch. It was like a year after the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game, but they did come to the Switch. So I hope Switch owners don't have to wait a year, and that maybe we'll get an announcement of the game on Switch. But who knows? Uh, it'll be on everything else though. So there you go, and it will be $40 if you're curious, if you're interested in the game. They did say during the presentation that if you pre-order the game, you will get access to the warehouse level early. So
Ooh.
you will be able to download the game and play through that warehouse level before the game is released. So that act a little bit like a demo for the game. So there you
Should be
go.
fun.
The other big thing that came from this was Epic Games showing off the Unreal Engine 5. We're just going to touch briefly on it because there's not a lot to really talk about aside from the fact that it looks really nice. Um,
I missed the entire presentation on that because I had a customer at work at that time.
I watched a little bit of the presentation, and I've watched a couple of Digital Foundry videos about Unreal Engine 5 that have come out since then. Um, they talked really heavily about lighting and how the new lighting engine is going to work, similar to ray tracing stuff, where the lighting is far more realistic than it has been in the past and more real time than it has been in the past.
Good.
And then also about the number of triangles that will be able to be on the screen at one time. And we're talking like millions and millions of triangles, so that you can get
Wow.
incredibly detailed terrain modeling. So
We're going to have some amazing looking stuff once developers get all switched over to Unreal 5. In fact, we're just now seeing most of them get switched over to Unreal 4, aren't we?
well, Unreal 4's been out for a while, but it's becoming like the one of the bigger. I'm not really qualified to talk a lot about engines. I don't know a lot of those. Um,
Okay, well, anyway, it's going to look amazing when.
it is going to look incredible, and they also have announced or have said that it will work on every system that is currently out and every system that will be out in the future. So
So use it on your PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturns.
okay, not that. Current
Aw.
generation systems and next gen systems. So Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Series X, PS5, PC. It'll run on all of those. Let's see. The senior VP of marketing and communications at Bethesda is basically tired of hearing people ask about uh, Elder Scrolls 6 because he keeps getting asked about it. And he has said, his name's Pete Hines, he said the company won't have anything substantial to say about Elder Scrolls 6 for at least a couple of years.
That's fair.
Uh,
That's
the
very
quote he
fair.
had is that it's after Starfield, which you know pretty much nothing about right now. So if you're coming at me for details now and not years from now, I'm failing to properly manage your expectations. Uh,
I don't know. Him saying that it's several years away from now, that's a detail right there, and that's about Elder Scrolls 6.
yeah.
Expectations have been met, I believe.
Yeah.
And it'll be able to use Unreal Engine 6. See, we're just now getting the 5. They're already moving up to 6, man.
They're just jumping ahead. No, they're gonna release Starfield before they talk about Elder Scrolls 6, and we don't know how long it's going to be until we know anything about Starfield because they announced that game a couple years ago, and we have heard zero about that game since then. So don't look for any Elders. You're gonna have to continue to play Skyrim for a few more years to get your Elder Scrolls fix. Or I guess you could play Elder Scrolls Online.
Just don't ask them about Fallout 5.
Yeah, definitely not. That's not gonna happen.
Nah, just give them time. It'll be an amazing game when it comes out.
They're gonna remake Fallout 76 before they do anything
Oh my
else.
gosh, don't even joke about that.
E3, is not happening this year, so we're getting a lot of this throughout the summer announcement stuff going to be happening. Ubisoft has said that they will be holding a presentation in July this year instead of June. But this will be, they say, an E3 style showcase. It's going to be what they call their first ever digital conference to give fans a look at their upcoming games. July 12th at 3 o'clock Eastern time. It's a Sunday. They have said that is when their presentation will be, this direct style presentation from Ubisoft, where they're going to talk very heavily about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they have said.
And we'll have actual gameplay footage, probably.
I sure hope so by July. Because the 2 times we've talked about gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they haven't shown off a single bit of gameplay. So
I imagine that it was actual gameplay footage, but not the gameplay, but maybe like part of it was without a HUD, but just
yeah,
for a brief moment, so we couldn't tell. So, and even they wouldn't admit it because they were like, yeah, well, I can see the issue, so they just kind of glanced over it. I bet
yeah.
because it's not their fault that it was overly hyped.
Well, it sort of was, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Moving on in the news.
So yeah, July 12th, get ready for a bunch of Ubisoft stuff.
Yeah.
I hope we see Mario and Rabbids 2. I know that sounds really weird to say. Somebody getting excited about a Rabbids game, but I would play a sequel to that. Ethan, you're predicting a lot of Just Dance gameplay footage for Ouya? What? Okay, there will be Just Dance footage. I can
yeah, there will be.
guarantee that. But it will be for the Wii and not the Ouya.
Well, they got to include the Ouya now too. I mean, it's got to hit everything except for Wii U.
Yeah, that's going to be the weird thing, is it's going to come to PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Wii and Switch, not Wii U.
There we go.
So, because
And Ouya.
Just Dance, for some reason, Just Dance continues to sell on the Wii, and I don't know why. But there you go. The news that was the most surprising to me this week, and the news that ended up being the most exciting, was that Nintendo, just out of the blue, they're like, "Hey, y'all, you want to play a new Paper Mario game? Because we're doing it."
And the internet said, maybe.
The internet said, "Sure, why not?"
The last two are just so brilliant, right?
They released a 2-minute long trailer for the next Paper Mario game called Paper Mario: The Origami King. Comes out very soon too. This was the best part, is that it comes out on July 17th. So we're just 2 months away from this game. It's not like, the game's out, they announced the game now, and 6 to 8 months from now we're finally
Hey, we're still waiting for Breath of the Wild too, man.
Well, yeah, that's going to take a while. We know that. But this game, there was no leaks of announcements. There was nothing. They just dropped the trailer for this game, and the internet went, "Hey, where'd this come from?" And, "Hey, this kind of looks pretty good."
It definitely looks interesting, yeah.
Because mixing two different sort of paper styles. They've got the traditional Paper Mario with all the 2D characters that look, sort of not they're not really hand drawn, but they have that sort of look to them. And then a lot of the other characters are made from paper. They look like origami folded paper characters. Uh,
I like that Bowser's just like a folded up wallet following you around.
exactly. It's just Bowser's face folded up into some paper, and it just kind of waddles behind you because it looks like Bowser is a companion this time and not an antagonist, at least from the trailer. They don't show you fighting Bowser in any way. There are these other characters that look like the bad guys this time around. So
Man, I haven't played the original Paper Mario in a good number of years. I should do that.
it's been a while. I'd really like to see an HD remake of that game. Uh,
Oh, the I think it was Thousand Year Door. Someone had re-released or emulated it and used like an HD upscaler thing on there. It looked really good.
really,
Yeah. Then again, a lot of the GameCube games look really good with the upscale on them.
that's true. I grabbed a Dolphin emulator this week and have been looking at a couple of different GameCube games,
Ooh.
and they look really nice. But this one, the one thing that everybody was curious about with this, and they actually released a second trailer that's about 20 seconds long, showing off the battle system of the game. Um,
Yes.
because the last two games, people have not liked the battle system. Sticker Star was awful. I There were so many times in Sticker Star that you could get yourself in a situation where you just could not attack anybody. That you were just stuck.
It was what, like card based or something, wasn't
It
it?
was card based.
Ugh, yeah. It's like, don't do that,
Well,
people.
you would find stickers and things around the world, and you'd use those, but it was essentially a card based battling system. Um,
I didn't play Color Splash. What was it like on that one?
Color Splash used cards again,
Uh,
but they improved it somewhat and made it more manageable, made it better. You didn't find yourself in situations where you couldn't do anything.
okay.
Um, Color Splash was not a bad game.
It
I
wasn't a
really
good game, just not a bad game.
it wasn't a great game. No, it is. I would put it probably fourth on my list. Maybe tied for third with Super Paper Mario in my Paper Mario rankings.
Okay.
The first two
Okay.
games are just head and shoulders better than all of the other ones.
Okay, so what's the combat like on this one?
With this one, they go back to a turn-based, more traditional Paper Mario style. You're picking moves from a menu and you're doing it. But of course, they have to add some sort of twist to the game.
Well,
And
they
in
didn't
this
have
one,
to, but they did.
well, they're not just going to go straight back and just give you the original battle system all over again. That's just not Nintendo's way. Um, with this one, you have a ring system. So you've got Mario in the center of the screen, and then there's these three. I think they're
Four.
three. Is it four?
Yeah, there's four. There might
Um,
be more for other things. We don't know.
so it's these four concentric circles around Mario, and you can move them. And so there'll be enemies on various spots, and so you can turn the circles to line them up in a straight line to do specific attacks. I imagine there will be like area of effect type of attacks as well, and things like that. So there's a little bit of a puzzle element to the battle system, but it looks much more like the regular traditional Paper Mario battle system, which is the thing that now has people really cautiously optimistic about this game.
Okay.
Me among them, because I really liked what I saw from the two trailers that have been released for this game. And we don't have to wait that long. Like I said, it comes out in July, so we're not
2 months
that far
away,
away
man.
from the release of the game, which is very exciting. We now know one of the games we'll be able to play from Nintendo this summer, which is something we don't really know what they've got lined up. They've just said, we've got a whole bunch of games that are going to be coming out. We haven't told you what they are yet, but they're coming. So have faith in us. And over the years, that's the one thing I've learned from Nintendo is that trust them. They know what they're doing for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. If they say there are games coming, there are games coming, and a lot of them will be pleasant surprises.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm
Speaking
very
of
excited.
pleasant surprises and Nintendo games that are not coming to something, Evo.
Ah, yes. The This is our last story of the week. Evo is happening, right?
Yes, Evo is going to take place. It's going to be all online apparently, because that's how you'd have to do that to begin with, because COVID issues all around the world.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know what Evo is, it's uh, basically the fighting game tournament every year.
It is sort of the biggest fighting game tournament of the year.
They have like they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and like 7 or 8 between 7 and 9 main stage games that they would have, and then like in the back areas you would have other games being played here and there. This year they're going to be running Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, or Dragon Ball Fighters, depending on how you want to pronounce that.
Mhm.
The wrong way that I did first, or the correct way I did second. Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Samurai Showdown, Soul Calibur 6, and Under Night In-Birth EXE late ST, however you
That
say
is
that crappy name there. Oh my
that is a
gosh.
really weird title for a game.
Yeah, I agree with that. Uh, so the notable exception, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a game that, despite its popularity, is infamous for its poor quality of its online play. So it has been dropped because of online issues that occur frequently with that game.
Yeah. Uh yeah, Smash Brothers, the online for that is notoriously bad, and they just wanted to make sure that that was not going to be an issue. It has been replaced with another game though, so um, you won't be able to play Smash Brothers, but instead, uh, you'll be able to play Skullgirls. They replaced Smash Brothers with Skullgirls this year.
It's actually not a bad exchange. That's pretty good.
So no, that is a really good fighting game, and it has really nice
Yeah, it's
online.
that game's got like crazy hitbox precision on it too.
So, so there you go. Yeah, Evo is happening. It will be all online. And I think that also means that just about anybody would be able to participate. I think there's some
There's
things.
like a pretty good lineup that, or sign up thing they have on there. I think is what they said.
Yeah. So
I'm looking
all
for it
of
right now.
that, all of that, I'm assuming they'll stream just like they have done in the past.
Oh! They're also going to have online tournaments for Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, Them's Fighting Herds, Skullgirls Second Encore, and Killer Instinct.
Dude, I really need to pick up Them's Fighting Herds. That looks really fun.
And also, more details and sign up options will be on the Evo official account stuff. I don't know, Twitter, Facebook, probably a website somewhere.
Yeah,
So, so if you're interested in all that, go check that stuff out.
there you go. And with that, we have come to the end of the show, Ethan.
All right.
So as long as everything recorded properly this time, we are
I see green, yellow, maybe red sometimes on here. On
with
both
that,
my bar and your bar.
we are done at this point. So thank you for being on the show this week.
Thank you for not being angry about me not recording the show.
Things happen, man. Things happen. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.